Hello everyone, it's Paige Sevier, your natural makeup specialist for women over 30, and today I'm going to walk you through my under eye method, my no concealer crease-free under eye method. So if you are new to my account and you specifically found me through this method, this is going to be for you. And as I do this method, hold on, where is it? Ooh, guys, I'm in my car. Thought I just spilled an open bottle of something. I film in my garage in my car because I have 4 kids and this is like the quietest place I can find. Okay, so this is my all-in-one palette from Saint. This is what I'm going to be using to show you my under eye method. So if you want to get color match for this, you can just go to colormatch.pagesevier.com at any point or just comment match on this live. I will post it as a reel as well. So if you have to hop off, don't worry, you can come back to this, okay? So this is what I'm going to be using today. And what I want to talk to you about, hold on. This is just, my hair's just wild today. We're just going to tuck it behind the ears, okay? So we can like fully see the face. I will try not to mess with my hair. I should have put it up. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So here's the thing with this under eye method, okay? You cannot, well, you can, but the whole entire point of this method is balancing the skin and balancing the colors in your face. And the best thing to do with this method is to do it last. So if you want to really like be wowed by this under eye method, here is the method of application for your makeup that I recommend. So first things first is you're going to take a little bit of bronzer to help just kind of even the skin tone all over. My lighting in here today is not fabulous. It's kind of a little overexposed, but I'm just gonna show you. So what I'm gonna do is, hold on, the same color that I use for under my eyes, I'm just gonna take a little bit. This is like my 4-in-1 brush here that Saint sells, I love it. I'm gonna take a little bit on this and I just do a touch of bronzer all over. I am very fair, very pale. I think people think I'm a lot darker than I am because of just lighting in my videos. I have more pigment on my face than I do on my neck. That's very common because our face sees the sun more than our neck does. So if you're someone like me and you also have that, you know, difference, just take a little bit of your bronzer and just put it on your neck. That's it. Not a ton. Like, I do want to emphasize that I am using the tiniest amount, and this really is the goal for everything I'm going to show you today. Is less is so much more. The reason I love this makeup is because it doesn't, hold on, where's this hair coming from? There it is. It doesn't look like makeup. It just, I don't know, it just is so sheer and beautiful on the skin. So I'm just taking a little bit and kind of warming up all over. I'm apologizing in advance, you guys, because I'm just like so ADHD when I do lives. I will try to stay focused and answer any questions that you guys have. And then I'm just gonna take a touch of my contour shade, which is a little bit more of a neutral shade, a little bit more green. This is Astoria. It's one of my favorite contours. It's the most versatile shade, I think, on most skin tones. And I'm just gonna add a little bit under my cheekbones and a little bit more definition on my forehead area, just kind of blending as I'm applying. You, of course, can use like a heavier amount if you want to. I just, like I said, I like a lighter finish, okay? And then I take on my nose, I just kind of squeeze my bristles like this and come a little down the sides of the nose and create a little V at the base. Okay, so that's it. So we're doing contour first. Then I'm gonna take my blush shade, which Black Cherry is like my go-to in the winter. Sometimes I'll mix it with Plum, which is the shade next to it. And I do my blush. This also prevents you from needing layers and layers and layers of product. My goal is for you to be able to have just one layer of product on your face. And this is really what's gonna help prevent creasing and all of that. And you will be surprised by how much just adding bronzer to even your skin tone will help. And if you have a lot of pigmentation, Try to only add bronzer like around the pigmentation. Like if you have really dark spots, don't bronze on that dark spot. And it's the same thing with the under eye. We don't want to add more darkness to existing darkness. We just want to lessen the appearance of that darkness by adding a little bit of shading around it. Think of your face like a canvas, okay? All right, so we've got blush on. And then I'm not a big foundation girly. I typically don't wear foundation. The only place I like to add a tiny bit of coverage is just around my mouth area where I just have like some acne scarring from over the years. So I'll just take a little dabby like this and just press that on around my nose, around my mouth. And that's it. That's the only place I like foundation. I avoid all foundation around my eyes and especially on my forehead because as you get older, the more... Here's the thing. I'm going to go on a little rant for a second. Foundation is more opaque, meaning it has obviously coverage. It has a thickness to it. And so anytime you have creasing, fine lines, texture, and you slap on something opaque, something more dense, it's just naturally going to enhance whatever is underneath it. I don't know where we've been sold the lie that more is more when it comes to makeup. It looks great in videos and even like on stage and cameras, but in person, 9 times out of 10, it does not look great. It doesn't. And my goal is for you to look great in person, okay? That's what I want for you. I want you to just look natural and beautiful in person, not heavy, cakey, and layered, okay? And that's another reason why I love this brand, the Saint brand specifically. It is the lightest, most sheer product I've ever found, even more so than like skin tints. It's just, I don't know, I love it. Okay, so then my next step is I'm gonna take, this is the spot brush, you guys. And if you have been matched by me for under eyes, and I recommended the spot brush, in my opinion, it is a must. Unless you have a brush that has, I don't know if it's gonna even focus on this. Hold on, can you kind of see? Do you see how fine that is? You want the tiniest, finest tip, okay? And the same colors that I'm gonna use for my under eyes are the same colors that I use for blemishes and dark spots. So this is what I use in place of foundation. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this yellow orange, which this is money. For basically any light to medium skin tone, this is what you're gonna use on your blemishes. This is it right here. We've been sold the lie that we need green for blemishes because our blemishes are red. But guess what? They're not actually red. They are purple and blue disguised as red. They create the appearance of red, but they're not actually red. So if you understand anything about color theory, we know we need the opposite color on the color wheel to neutralize, right? So when we use yellow-orange on red acne spots, we get them to disappear. It's kind of wild. Like, it is the coolest thing. And it's different than, like, I've seen companies that have, like, spot treat concealers. They're just beige tones. It's the same thing as a foundation. They just package it with a different name. They put a different applicator tip on it. It's still going to create texture, but something like this, that's very sheer and very exact in color, it virtually makes them disappear. So if you are watching this and you have blemishes, or maybe you have teens with blemishes, this is so much better. It's so much better. And then if you have like faded, darker acne spots, you're just gonna use a pure orange corrector, which is the same color I'm gonna use underneath my eyes. So the yellow orange and the orange are pretty much all you need for those things. That's it. Okay, and then last little guy is just right here, and I'm just using the tiniest amount, and I normally just kind of let it sit on my skin for a second to warm up, and then I'll tap out the excess, or even just use my finger, just blend it away. I've yet to find anything that is as magical as these correctors. Like I've tried so many different brands and nothing can compare to this, which is why I don't even bother sharing them, because I'm like, they don't work. They don't do what they say they're gonna do. Okay, so now for under eyes, do you see how less distracting your under eyes become when you balance your face first. When you do everything else first, then go to the under eyes, you're like, oh, I don't actually need as much product as I think I do. And also, I want to tell you that most of you watching me here have concealer blindness. I have people send me photos every single day and they're like, oh, my under eyes are so dark, they're so bad. I'm like, they're actually not. You just think they are because you've been trained to believe that color underneath the eyes is bad. But if you look at any little kid's under eyes, they have color and it looks pretty and it's youthful. And when we try to make it white, it looks unnatural because we have color in our face. Just like we want to have blush, you don't want to completely erase every ounce of color underneath the eyes. What makes it so distracting, welcome to class, everyone. What makes it so distracting is that it's more prominent than the other colors in your face, right? So a lot of times people think they have dark under eyes, but they actually have a lot of lightness that enhances the darkness next to it. So when you balance it, you eliminate that problem and the need for a heavy layer of coverage, and it just becomes this really natural, beautiful, sheer skin-like finish, okay? So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Hopefully, I don't know, my color, this lighting isn't the best, you guys. I'm sorry, it looks a little green, but okay, here we go. So step number 1, we're gonna take this same bronzer shade I used earlier, okay? We're gonna take the fluffy side of this brush, and I am using the tiniest amount. If it looks extremely dark underneath your eyes, you've used way too much product, okay? This is very pigmented, so you wanna make sure that you are just barely, like that's how much I have on my brush. Do you see? Little. Okay. Then I'm gonna look at my eyes, and you wanna do this in natural light. Do not do this in your bathroom lighting. Just do it in natural light because that's what's gonna show you the true colors. Like how many of us have done our makeup in the bathroom and then we go look outside or whatever and we look at our phone and we're like, oh, that doesn't look good. Do your makeup in natural light if you can, especially if you're learning a new technique. Okay, so if we're looking at my eye, all right, do you see how I have lighter areas right here, right? It's a little darker along my lash line, and then I just have a little darkness here. I even have a little lightness here. That's all we're doing. We're just finding the lightest areas, and we're taking that bronzer. See, I might have even done a little bit too much. I'm just taking that bronzer, and I'm just washing it around the lightness. Just like that. Okay? Instantly, do you see just how much less distracting this side became over this side? It's crazy. And I know I see a lot of makeup artists who've maybe caught on to this method, and they'll be like, the difference between pink corrector versus bronzer, and they'll just like swipe on this gallon of bronzer underneath their eyes. And I'm like, no, you're missing the point. We're not using bronzer as a color corrector. We're using bronzer as a balancer. We're using it to balance the skin tone, okay? So sheer, light amount of product. And then I'm just bringing it next to this hollow line here. I have very deep set eyes, very hollow eyes, okay? I'm gonna do this side and then we'll move on to the next step. This bronzer that I'm using is more of like a red orange base. So it's really going to target green and blue underneath the eyes, which is what a lot of us have because we have veins. We might even have some discoloration from the sun. Oftentimes discoloration from the sun is like a green pigment. So like freckling is really green. It will look like brown or orange. Usually if it's looking brown, it's more green. If it's orange, it might be more of like a true orange if it's natural freckling, like if you're a redhead. But okay. We're gonna add a tiny bit more just up here. And then kind of feather it down. Okay, doesn't it just look like I have like tan skin, like a nice little spray tan? Like I think that's why a lot of us fair gals, we love spray tans because it's actually evening the skin tone, right? So it's making what feels distracting less distracting. So it's the same concept of what we're doing here. Okay, step number 2. We're gonna take this yellow orange color corrector, the same one we used for our blemishes, okay, that made them disappear. We're gonna take, you can do the pointed side or the fluffy side. I'm just gonna take the fluffy side and tap ever so lightly. Again, like, do you see how there's basically no product on here? The tiniest amount. And I'm just going to tap this right into this section where it's more of that purpley blue. And if you want to be more exact in your application, go ahead and take the pointed side and you can kind of tap it on there. So if it's like a smaller section, this helps you be a little bit more precise. Okay, I'm gonna take it just a little bit up here. I'm gonna do the same thing over on this side. I just want to say too, again, this is not about concealing or covering. So if you're expecting like a bright white under eye, the way like concealer does for you, this is not it. So if that's what you want from your makeup, this method probably isn't for you. This is for someone who's like, I just want to look like I have no makeup on, but I want to look like bright and beautiful and glowy. This is for you. We are balancing the color. We are not covering. Okay. And then I'm just going to take the fluffy side and blend out the excess. Same thing over here. I know for people, some clients that I've had in the past that have truly very, very dark under eyes and maybe more fair skin. And so it really is almost like a raccoon, like where it's very noticeably dark. The same concepts are still going to apply. You might just need some more saturated shades. So instead of using yellow orange one, you might need the orange yellow because it has deeper tones in it. So color does matter when you're doing this. So if you're not getting like any coverage at all, or it's looking like kind of gray and light, then that's when we know it's a color issue. It's not an application issue. Okay, and then the last step is I'm gonna take the pointed side and I'm gonna go into this color right here. This is that orange shade that I was talking about that I use for faded acne spots. And I'm gonna put this right on the hollow line. Now, we cannot erase bone structure. This is important, you guys. Makeup is not plastic surgery. It's not going to completely erase your bone structure, and hollowing is the loss of fat pads that have moved down under the eyes, which is why I'm a proponent of facial exercises. I have a video coming on what to do to strengthen, to bring those fat pads up underneath to help the hollowness go away. So what I'm saying is we're working with skeletal structure here. So it's not going to erase it completely, but it will definitely help diminish the appearance of that hollowing. Do you see? Like, by just adding a little bit of that orange, we know that shadows are dark and darkness usually indicates blue. Opposite of blue is orange. That's why it works so well. Okay, shadows are blue. They need orange. So what it does is it just almost creates like this natural filter effect. Hollowness is still there, but we've definitely lessened the appearance of it, which is so cool. So, and the best part is when you apply this correctly, I'm going to put a little bit on this vein over here to just help soften the appearance of that. Just get closer here. Okay. So you see how I still have like a touch of color. Like, it's not like my under eyes are white and bright. They're just like, oh wow, she got a really good night's sleep. Like, her under eyes just look really balanced and fresh. And that's the goal. And because we're using such little product, you're not going to get any of that texture, no creasing. This is 1,000 times better than any concealer you'll ever use. I will fight anyone to the death on it. Like, I've tried probably 100 different concealers at this point. I literally should go count. I have a drawer full of concealers that I've tested over the years to just see if anything could even come close. And there are definitely some that will look good. They don't look bad, but within a matter of an hour, or two, they'll just start creasing because your entire eye socket is just muscles. That's all it is. And it moves the most. It's where you show all of your expression, all your emotion. So it's just natural that it's going to crease. So the less product we can use, the better. And so by doing this method, it allows us to use very little product. Okay, that was a long tangent, but I just really love explaining this to people so you can really see how this is different from what really anyone's teaching in the makeup industry. Okay, I'm gonna just do my little brows and my lips. One thing I also love to do, which I'll show you with the eyes, sometimes people will come to me and they have, like I said, really dark under eyes, and they'll even have darkness on the lid. And I'm like, you're lucky, it's your lucky day, because in my opinion, a lot of times darkness on the lid just creates the most beautiful natural eyeshadow. And so just work with what you have. Instead of constantly trying to fight against it, use that natural darkness as an eyeshadow. Use it as a liner on your lower lashes, and just add to it to balance it out to make it look like it's meant to be there. The difference in color between that's my issue. The difference in color between my dark under eyes and the rest of my skin is drastic. This is the only thing that has worked for me in a more natural way. I need more coverage. Yes, okay, so that is where it's just a matter of balancing the face and then possibly getting something with a little bit more saturation. Whoops. You guys, it is very difficult to do brows in your phone. 10 out of 10 don't recommend. I'm just gonna ignore that. Okay, brows, lips. This is every single day I get someone DMing me, what's your lip combo? This is what it is, okay? I'm gonna use the Chai, is it satin or silk? It's a silk pencil from Saint. And I just line it first. I kind of go heavy on the liner because I like the tone of it, almost like a base color for my lips. So I like the definition and the color I get. If you have more mature skin, lips, avoid the corners of your mouth. You don't want to draw your lips down. So keep it kind of perky. See how it's almost like a base color, but do you see how it has that cool tone, which I'm a very much cool tone girl. This is the first lip liner color I've ever had that actually doesn't pull like orange on me. And then I take the same color I used on my cheeks, which is that black cherry, and just put a little bit on my lips. Is that not the prettiest combo? I mean, seriously, it's like what I use every single day. And then just to add a little pop, I will take this Lip Gelato, this is a very cool tone pink, very Barbie pink, okay? And just do a little bit in the center. And I'll put a little bit on my cheeks too. Have a little bit more pink there. I really think the key to a really great looking lip is the variations of color. Like if you just do one color all over, even like the similar lip color, same lip liner as the lip color, it just starts to look less natural because your lips naturally have variation in them. So that's why I love this combo. Especially when it starts to fade, it just looks very pretty. Okay, eyeshadow. I used to be, if you followed me for a while, I do love eyeshadow and I can do eyeshadow, but 9 times out of 10, I want to do something that's very just natural and subtle. And my most favorite eyeshadow color is this Velvet Contour. It's a contour shade for deep skin tones, but it is the most beautiful eyeshadow because for me, where I have a lot of coolness around my eyes, it has a purple tone to it. So I don't know why I did that. It's a cream. I also like that it's a cream. So I just sweep this all over the lid. Again, I have really deep set eyes, so I come clear up on my brow bone. And it just becomes this really pretty, it's very much mimicking. See how I already kind of have this natural shadowing? It mimics the natural color I have so well. And that's what I was saying about, like, if you already have like darkness on your lid, stop trying to make it white. Like, just use it. Like, you got it, use it. Just balance it. Like, if it's dark right here, then just add a little darkness here and here, and just, now you have the most natural, beautiful eyeshadow. Okay, and then I just take a little bit on the small side, and I love to just kind of deepen my lower lash line with this. It's just the prettiest cool brown tone. I honestly think it's like pretty on every single person because most of us have like those purpley tones around our eyes, right? And I feel like it just like deepens that color and looks very beautiful. And I'm not like a big mascara on the lower lashes gal, but I do like to have a little definition there. So I feel like this helps, and it's simple and easy and fast. And then my last little move is to just do a little liner. And this is the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal Liner in Ash. So it's like a dark gray. I just kind of bring that right in here. Obviously I've got lashes on, so don't need a whole lot on the eyes. And then I just kind of create a little baby wing, like so. And blend it out. And that's it. That is my look 9 times out of 10. Try to keep it very fresh and simple, but the best part is it just love it. I love that it doesn't look like a heavy makeup look. It just looks like glowy skin. Someone asked, what lashes do I wear? I wear the Lashify lashes. These are the Gossamer Extremes. These are like my favorite ones I wear all the time. They fit my eye shape the best. Tried a lot of different brands and styles, and I just always come back to this one. Okay, and then the last thing I do is just set everything with setting spray. I try to avoid powder at all costs because I want my skin to look very hydrated and glowy. Oh, also, little hack for you. If you have really dry underneath your eyes, take a balm. I just take this little Saints balm, and you can put that underneath your eyes first or after you do your method. And then it just creates this beautiful like glow if you want like that glowy look. I love to just kind of bring this down the center too. Just makes your skin look really hydrated and glowy. Okay, that's everything. So if you guys have questions about my under eye method or need to get matched for the makeup, you can just DM me or go to colormatch.pagetavera.com and I'd be happy to help you. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.